I hope you've had an amazing week. So today, when I was looking in the Sunday school question box and trying to figure out one question to kind of focus on, I noticed that there were a lot of questions talking about our builders and our bases, how to use them, why they work this way, can I use this one instead of that one? A lot of these questions. So I figured instead of focusing on one particular question today, I would do a little bit more of a rapid fire, answer a couple questions, and kind of go off on little mini tangents. So it's going to be more of kind of an overall educational day about our bases in general. So let's get started. So the first question I got in the box immediately as soon as I posted it was, can Megastick base be used as a builder? So we are talking about Megastick base. It comes in these gold bottles. It also comes in this little gold pot right here. Now these are the same formulation. It's just whether you prefer to work out of a pot or a bottle. Personally, I like the bottle, but it's up to you. This is a very, very soft base. It is super duper adhesive. It is one of our most flexible and very, very sticky bases that we have in our collection. So it's very popular. We do get a lot of questions asking if you can use this as a builder though. So because this is such a soft gel, there really isn't any kind of hardness to it. It is not semi-hard. It's just a really nice, bendy, flexible, highly adhesive base gel. We can build a little bit of structure with it. We can do a little bit of an apex to kind of resurface the nail, but we can't really depend on it to have a lot of strength. So if you're doing anything longer than just like a short natural set like my nails, and you're not really aiming to grow out the natural nails, then this is going to be a really nice option for you. Anytime you are going to try and grow out a natural nail, or if you have a nail that is already on the longer side, you're going to want something with a little bit more hardness so that it can support that extra length of the nail. So the short answer there is yes, kinda, only really for short nails. Moving right along into the next question, we have, does Kokoist have any hard gel products? And the quick answer is no. We have a lot of different hardnesses in our collection, but our collection is a soft gel line. So we have soft gels and we have semi-hard gels, and we have varying degrees therein, but we do not have any classic hard gels that are like that, traditional, put it on, it's really nice and sturdy, and you have to file it off. So the hardest gel that we have in our collection is Excel Builder Clear, this one right here. It is very nice and sturdy. It is super strong, has a nice amount of flexibility to it. And you can sculpt with it, which is really great. So you can do really nice long nails with the Excel Builder Clear, but it is still semi-hard. And the advantage of that is that it is still a soak-off product, which we really like having the option of, instead of having to just file everything straight off. Even if you are going to be rebalancing and rebalancing and rebalancing in the future, if they ever want them completely removed, you can still soak off this builder product. All right, next question. This is a good one. So, can you use Gel-It Bond base instead of Megastick base underneath the Excel Builder Clear? So the Excel Builder Clear that we were just talking about, because of its hardness scale, still semi-hard, but very hard along the scale of what we offer. Because it is so hard, it doesn't have the adhesion that a very soft gel would have, like our Megastick base. So you do have to apply a coat of Megastick base underneath the Excel Builder Clear to get it to stick properly to the natural nail. Now, this question is asking if our Gel-It Bond base would be an appropriate substitute for the Megastick base. And the answer is really yes. These are both very soft gels. They both have really great adhesion. The Gel-It Bond base is a teensy bit harder, but not to the point where it's going to impede the adhesion of the Excel Builder Clear. I very often, honestly, if this is out of reach, I will reach for the Gel-It Bond base and use it in its stead. That's not going to be a problem if you want to do that and kind of do double duty with this Gel-It Bond base. Right, keeping the money train going here. So can we use a brush with the Mochi Bond to help distribute the product onto the underside of the Gel-It tip? So this is the product here that we're talking about. This is Gel-It Bond Mochi. This is one of our newest releases. It just came out in February. And basically what it is a very, very high viscosity gel that you can pick up and use it to apply your Gel-It tips or your soft gel tips. And you can put it down, apply it to the nail, and let go. And because of its viscosity, it's so very thick and rubbery that the nail doesn't move. So you can kind of step back, you can look at the nail, you can adjust it a little bit, and it's not going to move off of the nail until you're happy and you can cure it in place. So this one, using a brush with it is going to be a little bit tricky because of the kind of stickiness of the product. It will kind of stick to the brush. It is better to use something like a metal spatula to pick it up and apply it to the underside of the nail. A brush would just stick to it a lot and you're going to get a little bit of a mess going on. So the metal spatula is going to be your best friend. So just as a little bit of an example here, if I have the underside of my Gel-It tip and I apply my Mochi with my metal spatula, I can kind of brush it off. I used a lot. I picked up a lot with my metal spatula, but just to show you, if you were to kind of press it into place with the metal spatula, you can kind of like sweep off of it. But if you were to use a brush, this is my Kokoist flat brush, and try to manipulate it, you see how this is really, really goopy, and it's kind of sticking to the brush, and it's giving me a little bit of drama. So this is something you're going to want to avoid. You could also use something like a silicone tool to kind of correct and place and move it around on the underside, and this will not stick to the Jelly-Bond mochi in the same way that a brush would. So this might be another option for you as well if you don't want to use a metal spatula. All right, here's another good question. Why does Excel Builder need a base but no other builder in the line does? So we're talking about the Excel Builder Clear, and remember that this is our hardest gel that we have on the line. Now let's think back and let's remember what we talked about with the Megastick base. This is the softest gel that we have in the line. Very, very flexible, very rubbery, very, very sticky. So this is kind of on one side of our spectrum here, and then the Excel Builder Clear is on the other side, where this is very soft, this is very hard, this is very sticky, this is not sticky at all. It has to do with the formulation and the hardness of the gel. Kind of the more hardness a gel has, generally speaking, they will have less adhesion. So we do need to lead them up with a soft gel base. A lot of other collections, a lot of other brands will opt for a primer instead of a base, but because as a line we have incorporated our primers into our actual bases, we instead say apply the Megastick base or your Jelly-Bond base if you want, and fully cure your soft gel base before building on top of the natural nail with the Excel Builder Clear. It just gives you a little bit of kind of like a really good adhesion and a shock absorbing layer that will bend and flex with the natural nail. So then the hard gel over top can do the job that it needs to do. Okay, last question here, and one that we get very often. Issues with builder bases lifting from the free edge. So any kind of builder, any kind of structural overlay that we put on top of the nail, they've applied it, and when the client comes back, they're having a lot of lifting at the free edge where that builder base kind of comes to a stop and the free edge is exposed. So there is a new concept that we are teaching a lot of people. It's a lot of unlearning that we're trying to do here. So all gel shrinks by nature. Whenever you cure a gel inside an LED lamp, it always wants to do this a little bit. It's going to come away from the edges, it's going to come away from the sides. So back in my day, we were always taught to really cap the free edge, almost paint underneath the nail, because it's going to shrink away. If you don't cap that free edge, you're going to have lifting, you're going to have problems and chipping and all these things. So because now we are working with structural applications, there is a new technique that we're calling beveling or tucking, depending on who you talk to. So now, because we're doing a structural application on top of the nail, instead of just painting thin coats, right, we're doing an overlay. When the gel shrinks away from that free edge, what's going to happen is there's going to be a little bit of natural nail at the free edge there that is not fully protected by gel. So what we can do now, instead of working to really cap it with our gel colors or our top coat, you can take your nail file. This is our emery boards, 180 grit, underneath the free edge of the natural nail, and file it away just a little bit, kind of at a 45-degree angle. It's a little bit trickier to do with square, but you can do it with a diamond bit on your E-file if you want to, and just file the natural nail away a little bit so that it kind of gets placed back behind the gel. So the gel becomes your first point of contact. You can almost think of this as creating like a teeny tiny sculpted free edge right past the free edge of your natural nail. And basically this just allows the gel overlay to absorb any impact from, daily life, hitting your hands on things, typing, all that stuff, instead of it being your natural nail and it kind of takes that impact and it starts to kind of lift away from the gel that's on top of it. Having that little bit of kind of gel free edge absorbs a lot of that impact and will reduce a lot of your free edge lifting. I'm going to include a video from
If you want to strengthen your overlays, your structured overlays, and minimize lifting at the free edge, here is my mega tip. You can see I did it on these oval shaped nails. Now I'm going to show you how I take a nail.
So there you have it, folks. A little bit of a rapid fire question and answer version of Sunday School this week. I hope it answered some of your questions. If it raised any more, as always, we have our cute little question box right up here. You can drop your questions in there and I'll do my very best to get back to you by the end of the day. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Have a super awesome work week, and we will see you back here next week for another episode of Sunday School. Take care.